to access all this information?
Electrical impulses. Every cell knows and talks to every other cell. They exchange 1,000 bits of information between them per second. Cells group together, forming a giant web of communication, which in turn forms matter. Cells get together, take on one form, deform, reform. Makes no difference, it's all the same. Humans consider themselves unique, so they've rooted their whole theory of existence on their uniqueness. One is their unit of measure, but it's not. All social systems we put into place are a mere sketch. 1 + 1 = 2, that's all we've learned. But 1 + 1 is never equal to. There are in fact no numbers and no letters. We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
But if humans are not the unit of measure, and the world isn't governed by mathematical laws, what governs all that?
Film a car speeding down a road. Speed up the image infinitely, and the car disappears. So what proof do we have of its existence? Time gives legitimacy to its existence. Time is the only true unit of measure. It gives proof to the existence of matter. Without time,
Many fail to realize that the laws of what we call quantum laws is ever-changing like the universe around it. What governs and decides those laws? Interstellar objects and their formation. You see there, in space, in the metaphysical universe, as objects form into matter, concepts unfold into taking form, the arrangement of particles form into atoms, and that their interaction gives way to what becomes the equilibrium of stellar formation into stars. What types, which ones will fail and become brown dwarfs, which ones will form into the fusion process that gives birth to stars, and the residual energy left over congeals into gas giants. It is here that the laws of our physics are written and decided, governed by stellar birth. So those laws change and is eternally changing and in motion, synchronized with the rest of the universe.
the night of the prophecy of Solomon's return. A time will come one day when the moon shall turn as red as blood, and the sun will become as black as sackcloth on the night of omens, as the passing of the season that brings with it the cold white mountain tops, that bears forth the time when the rains return to the Nile, and its waters brings life to the lands of Egypt again. 4,500 full cycles of that season will have passed before you shall be in the time which I dwell upon the earth, a time as of yet to be unfolded to mankind. That age will be called the end of days.
What is my point to all this? The center of the universe? Astronomers say the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, and the entire solar system are moving toward the bright star Vega, in the constellation Lyra, at about 40,000 miles per hour. Vega, the fifth brightest star in the sky, means he shall be exalted. It is part of the summer triangle and, with fellow triangle stars Deneb, the Lord comes, and Altair, the wounding, tells the Genesis 3:15 story of the seed of woman, who will come, be wounded, and be exalted. Vega is located in the constellation Lyra, the harp, which is pictured as a harp with wings of an eagle. It represents God's Holy Spirit, which comes to live in those who are his children. The meaning of the name of Vega, he shall be exalted, illustrates that the primary function of the Holy Spirit is to exalt Christ in the believer. The association of the Holy Spirit with the harp illustrates the role that the Spirit plays in the praise of God and the power of music in the praise and worship of God. That's got me written all over it. Tale of Two Worlds. The Solarian faction were the common people of their world that escaped its destruction and colonized the galaxy of Solaris. The other were the rebel survivors who colonized a world we have labeled WASP-182b. This is the location on a stellar map. The other is the world I had traced the signal of our sonic wave technology's source in the constellation of Lyra, local star titled Vega in the system labeled 42-6. This would be the homeworld of the Pleiadians, as they are sometimes called. They are the ones holding the title as the matriarchs and official direct lineage to our progenitors, and they have forsaken us. They always have, not just recent but throughout history. Is an unspoken legend that their division of Anunnaki hidden, who keep their activities a secret and cover their tracks, known to us as the Men in Black, or the Illuminati, abducted individuals they've turned into sleeper cells, totally unaware that they have been conditioned and abducted. Usually, sometimes when unavoidable, they delusion our minds into convincing us that they are whatever the cultural religious belief we were raised to believe in. I learned some time ago that the coronavirus was augmented and tampered with by the Pleiadians, who view us as unevolved and too chaotic to tolerate on their world, or even among them within space. They had planned on wiping us out, as they have sought to do numerous times in the past, but they always fail because we are a project of their ancestors. So this time they figured they would achieve success by going with the program of their forefathers, by fast-forwarding things and reinitializing old scrapped programs. A program that had planned on repopulating the universe with a genetically identical version of their forefathers' species who made the technology that made us. For you see, they too are but duplicates. Now, the original Pleiadians died out long ago and left their clone workers to continue in their place, as did the Draconians. However, in the technical food chain, we rank higher than both of them, because they may be clones of the descendants of our makers, but we humans are a project made by their ancestors directly. Some of us were even fused with their ancestors' genetics in our system from birth and passed down these genetic markers from generation to generation. However, might I add that this does not mean that God and what we were told is not true, for when the warring angels were driven from heaven and into creation with their conflict, these beings' ancient ancestral civil war was the war from heaven that spilled over into the world of man, using them as vessels they carried on their celestial war here in the physical world that caused the extinction of their forefathers and both surviving divisions eventually. The fact that they have the same descriptive title for that event as the separation from God is no coincidence. They are the ones who have withheld our advance in evolution to colonize other worlds. They are the ones who arrived just prior to every cataclysm this world faces, as their depiction through the architect said. They have destroyed us 6 times so far, this being the 6th, and they have become quite efficient at it. They are the ones who are constantly changing identities in their communication with us and have been for some time now. They are the drive and cause behind even our contradictory view on God, and have many times throughout history interceded and used their abducted factions to interfere with how we view and understand God. They refuse to admit to his existence because they think of themselves as our God, our makers, since they hold the lineage title as matriarch of their people. And it is the fallen angels who are at work behind them. Fuck me brothers, yeah well fuck you too. Tell me brothers and sisters, how does the tale of this Antichrist you parade me around as taste now? Is my suffering by your hidden hands still sweet like honey, or is it as bitter as the taste of blood on your stomachs? Tada, and that's my great miracle trick. It's not fancy like walking on water or making a statue disappear. Oops, wrong one, never mind. Moving along. So I say this now because I know how their technology works. And that this will be monitored and evaluated by their systems that govern their authority over them. Once this is analyzed, their own system will turn on them, for they do not bear a title rightfully earned but have taken that title by tyranny and by subjugation of their own people. They were not rightfully placed upon that mantle but are mere stewards really as their ancestors, our original makers. Technology refuses to acknowledge them or allow them control of their systems. You all, however, have been subject to their control for thousands of years, but I am an anomaly, for I have access to what they cannot have, and that places me above them in rank, for I am a crew member of one of their ancestors' projects. Though I am a drone by design, I still am not subject to their assaults against me that impede and endanger both my work and their ancestors' project. This coronavirus was a part of a terraforming atmospheric conditioning process used to alter newly formed worlds' atmospheres into one that can be sustainable for whatever composition of air they require. However, this process also is holding an encoded means that can construct a secret bioweapon the Draconians had developed, sometimes referred to as the Reptoid strain. This variation of the terraforming process gave way to a bioweapon that restarted the Paldeon and Draconian War that both wiped them out and took an effort on an intergalactic scale that took multiple species and many worlds ended before completely ridding the universe of this out-of-control weapon. As I will show you here on the screen, the evolutionary cycle of the coronavirus Reptoid strain. They were stopped by trapping them within a prison system they had suspended within a black hole held in place by a very advanced and precise design of geometrically aligned seals, the onyx obelisk monolith structures. They hold the seals into place within the black hole's vortex and are triangulated in respective alignment with the monolith stone structures here on Earth, where the seal is maintained by the only entrance into none other than the abyss, the bottomless pit, or for better description, the Bermuda Triangle. Now if CERN has gone and caused the seal to slip as it seems, then the pit is open. But they aren't attacking because they don't need to. Their work has already been done for them to return, and it is about to enter its cocoon stage once this virus has run its course of variants. The Paldeon thought they had some way of controlling us by releasing this strain, convincing their systems that they are working towards bringing their ancestors back by preparing the atmosphere to be reconditioned, but then administered the vaccine that carries with it a formula that was used to genetically augment their clones with a control chromosome that allows them direct connection and the ability to insert command and control instructions straight into your neurological receptors. Now with the two combined, they've recreated the bioweapon project that wiped one of their species out completely. So hold on, humanity, for the doctor is here. Now the first thing I must do is secure my workstation. To achieve that, mankind is going to truly need their free will back end. That would mean taking control over their network and setting us back in place under the protective control of the terraforming ship's network. First thing is mankind's designed purpose, and that is to continue to learn, adapt, and evolve their knowledge and social structure as a species. Now to handle the Reptoid issue. That sub-project was abandoned after the Lemurian colony's outcome. They sent a colonization group here once before. That colonization group failed to adapt successfully and died of natural causes from atmospheric indifferences with their life support sustainability. So it technically shouldn't be even allowed unless that's what they wanted access to the ship for. Wait. The next thing I need to do is set something straight right here and now. To those listening out there, you are not our God, you are not our makers. I know God, I've personally met man. He simply used your system's technology, seeded the very idea of the terraforming project itself into the minds of our makers and molded our world with it. That is all. They have been vessels and the hands that he made for specific details of creation's design and outcome. They are not God, not a realm of the heavens, just a physical and mortal vessel, just as we can be, the prophets were, and anyone else could be if he chooses. I knew him back in college. He's an old dorm room bunkie I knew back before existence became a public school. He's short-worded, has a bad temper and loads of self-control, but one thing he is not, above all other things, is that he is not a backstabber or a being of deceit. He may be mysterious, but he doesn't flat out lie to you, as much as you think I may believe the opposite of that about now, but that's only because I led you to that. Father of lies, remember. So many of the opinions and perspectives I explained here that were so assumed to be my reaction. If you'll notice, I stated the problem but never provided a decision and set forth a path and plan towards success. And before you give me that, angels are supposed to be sinless in nature. Yet, all except me, an angel gifted with free will, the ability of choice. Sometimes I choose to walk by his will when the need arises for someone mighty. Sometimes I choose to walk my own path by my own choice of beliefs of what is and isn't. A lot of it was a sham, specifically for you. My anger, my rage against the heavens, wanting to spearhead Armageddon, nah, that died out a long time ago. I just needed to get a better view of who to aim for.